Jaylee Hamidi, thank you so much for taking the time to speak with PopWire today. How are you doing?
I'm so good, thank you. Thanks for chatting with me.
Thank you for your time. I want to congratulate you on your breakout role in the Hulu series How to Die Alone. Can you tell us a little bit about what it's about?
Yes, How to Die Alone follows Melissa on her journey through self-discovery. She works at an airport but is afraid to fly and all of the chaos that ensues.
Awesome. All right, so I was immediately drawn to your character in the series premiere. I also liked how it's revealed to the audience that, she is part of the queer community. However, it's not her whole identity. Her sexuality is just mentioned once in the premiere, and then that's it. How would you describe Ali, and how does it feel to play an LGBTQ plus character, especially being in the community yourself?
Yes, it was so exciting to play Allie because she's such a well-rounded, multidimensional character, which we don't often get to see um, in queer characters without it just being, like you said, the thing that's just about them. And so, yeah, as we as we move through Allie's identity, I think what's really cool was getting to play her as this very real and open person, not going to hide any of her own issues, but also be very candid about the lessons that she learned along the way. And I think that's why her and Melissa bond so well as just Melissa being on that same journey. The two of them really unite in that unconditional love we all seek for ourselves, especially as queer folks. I think it's really hard when you not everyone's journey as a queer person, but there's a lot of isolation and a lot of loneliness that people can relate to that we see on the show. Loneliness is not a conditional thing. It is unfortunately an unconditional thing, but that's what we can also see the beauty in, is that when we remember that everyone's going through something challenging, we can be a better version of ourselves. And that's ultimately what you see in Allie and how she liberates Melissa to keep that kind of gusto of life, even in her darkest hour. And so, yeah, it was super cool to play, to continue hopefully to play Allie. And as we'll also come to identify, okay, what are her own challenges with her new foray into love interests potentially down the road.
Mm, okay, that's actually my question for later. So yeah, we'll come back to
Okay.
that. Um, so you and your co-star, Natasha Rothwell, I think have like such great chemistry, and I love the two of you together. And she is such a comedic genius. What was it like working with her? Like, I imagine it being so much fun on the set while, filming with her. What was it like?
Oh, absolutely. It was so much fun working with Natasha. I was such a huge fan to begin with of her work and just her, like you said, comedic genius. It just comes so effortlessly. And working with her, you witness that true effortlessness. And she often just approached all of the scenes that we were working on together with such an ease and would ad lib or throw some things in. And that just invited you to play with her. And so we would often, bounce things off each other. One of my favorite scenes to shoot was um, the scene where we're dancing together. That is such what I feel like an iconic episode as well. And, just that in and out of surrealism that she uses. And then the other one was when Tamika, Allie, and Melissa are sitting on the bed going through the Hinge profile, but a lot of that was improvised actually. And so, yeah,
Oh,
we had a lot of
love it.
fun. We had a lot of fun shooting that episode. And yeah.
Awesome. How to Die Alone is a comedy, but there are lots of trauma. In fact, there are a lot of emotional and heartbreaking scenes. One in particular I found quite moving was in the series premiere. Natasha's character Melissa goes to your bar after being discharged from the hospital, and she meets your character, and she breaks down and has this raw and vulnerable moment. I'm not sure if you were there for her coverage, like filming her coverage, but if you were, what was it like filming that emotional scene?
Yeah, no, we worked together for that scene. Natasha, like I said, is a consummate professional, so she was there for all of her scenes, giving as much and serving the story, and such a amazing scene partner to work with. So that scene was super organic. When we were filming it, as we are living this journey from the moment they said action to the end, it was so real and alive. The reality of what it feels like for Melissa to be invisible and all these aspects for her to break down, and for my character too to have recently gone through such a similar, not the same situations, but this similar kind of reckoning of oneself and identity and what it means to not be living authentically. We just flew together. And so we cried together in the scene. And so all of those were not premeditated or designed for the scene. It was really that live acting moment where, as she's going through this arc in the scene, I'm on that journey with her, and we're so in it that, yeah, just the tears kept flowing take after take as we moved, and as I ultimately could be that support person for her, to hold her hand, be like, I see you.
Ooh. That actually brings me, pops up a new question. When you said you'll be there for her, is there anyone in your life who you lean on, if you had that kind of situation? Who in your life would be your person?
Oh, I'm very, very lucky that my wife is that person. I have a really incredible support group of amazing friends, and we do the same. We lift each other up when we're down and help to combat each other's internal self-doubts and demons. But the rock predominantly in my life is my wife, through all of the ups and downs, especially being in this industry. There's a lot of them.
I love that. Oh, so beautiful. Okay. All right. So before we continue, we have a question for you sent in from the last person we interviewed, Jaylee Triplet from iCarly and Hauntology. And let's take a look at that now.
Awesome.
Hey, I'm Jaden Triplet from iCarly and Hauntology, and my question for you is, which comic book character would you like to be and why?
Oh, hi, Jaden. That is a crazy good question. What character would I love to be? I think I would like to be Silk from, it's a crossover between Deadpool and Spider-Man, I want to say. I can't remember. But I remember coming across a comic of it, and I was like, oh, that character is pretty badass.
Awesome. All right, so moving on. A big theme of Hulu's How to Die Alone is about facing your fears. What was the last fear you faced and took control over? And what is one fear you might still have that you would like to someday conquer?
Oh, that's such a good question. The most recent, oh my gosh, this is so embarrassing and so silly. But I, when I was in LA for the premiere of How to Die Alone, my co-star and I, Michelle, we were going about adventuring, and I was really scared to go on those Uber scooters. Like, I was legitimately terrified because I know how wild drivers be. And, she was like, trust me, like, it's very quick and it's super fun. So that was the most recent thing I hopped on. And man, those things are so fast and they're so much fun. Have you been on one? They're part of Uber, but it's like a scooter, like the kids that you see riding these days. Like, it's not like a Vespa, it's like a scooter with the anyway, so I'm very nervous to ride one of those. But one of my fears that I would want to conquer in the future I've done skydiving before, so I'm not really afraid of heights or anything like that.
I heard about that. Oh my gosh, you're so brave. Oh gosh.
It was so much fun. I don't know. I love horses so much, but I get a bit nervous on them sometimes. So I'd love to try like doing a big trail expedition on a horse, and like maybe do some like hardcore galloping. Yeah.
I hear it's like really like you get sore the next day from on your thighs and stuff because of Yeah,
I thankfully don't get sore when I ride horses, but I will say horses are that kind of animal. They really test you. Like they're like, if they sense that you're not super confident, they really mess with you.
All right. So, speaking of fears, Melissa has a big fear of flying, and the whole season she prepares to go on her first flight to Maui to attend a wedding. And fun fact, I was born and raised on Maui, which still represents.
Oh,
And also, I find it amusing that, Natasha was in season 1 of White Lotus, which was actually filmed on Maui, which is pretty crazy and awesome. All right, so my question is, while she was planning her first trip to Hawaii, if you had to leave your town and be stuck anywhere in the world for the rest of your life, what would be your last flight? What would be your final destination?
oh my gosh, that is a really hard question to answer. I would probably fly back to China to visit my family. If I was never going to go anywhere else again, yeah, it would be probably that. If we're thinking like they're already here and just something fun, I would probably do like Italy or Greece.
Awesome. Good choices. Okay. And then you've teased on this before, but from the ending of the season, it ends on a little bit of a cliffhanger and it opens the door for more. If Hulu orders another season from ONYX, what are your hopes for your character and what journey would you like her to go through in season 2?
Yeah, I'd love for Allie to get a little bit of exploration into her backstory and where she comes from, like who she is and what her previous relationship might have been like. But most exciting to me would be the exploration of her her sexual identity as she navigates dating and relationships potentially, and maybe some complex triangles or squares or rectangles
Yeah.
that would ensue.
Do you think she would ever want to work at the airport with all of her and her friends there?
No, Allie owns the Hoyt Bar, so that would,
Okay.
yeah, pretty awesome. But I would love for the worlds to cross over massively, and have it where, I don't know, Tamika and Allie get sucked into some of the shenanigans that we love to see at the airport.
Yes, yes, yes. And then, maybe have some of her airport friends go to the bar.
Yeah,
And yeah, that would be fun.
yeah, that
Okay.
would.
All right. And then finally, why should people check out How to Die Alone?
People should check out How to Die Alone because it is a comedy, but it's also a drama, and it explores identity and loneliness and all of the things that is holding you back and how to let them go. And I mean, who doesn't want to watch a series full of incredibly multi-talented, multi-diverse, and just awesome characters that I think everyone can relate to across the board?
Awesome. All right. You can catch season 1 of ONYX's How to Die Alone now streaming on Hulu. Thank you so much, Jaylee Hamidi, for your time. It was such a pleasure speaking with you today.
Thank you so much. It was so lovely chatting with you.